The first shot I'm going to teach you is actually one I see very often played by professional players, but I don't see this shot played by any amateur or beginner. So if you put this shot into your arsenal, you play a bit more like a professional player. So what is the problem here? We have to make the strike ball into the side pocket and get a nice position for the 8-ball into the corner pocket, because this pocket is blocked. So what happens if you just roll that ball in with no spin? You can see the cue ball comes around and we have a nice shot on the 8-ball because we ended up perfectly on that line. But the problem is we're crossing the line, as you can see. If the cue ball stops here, it's horrible. If the cue ball just travels a bit further, it's horrible. You have a difficult shot. So there is something else you could do on this shot. Let's try to experiment a bit with inside spin here. So I'm just playing the same shot, but with a whole lot of inside spin. That's the only thing I'm changing. So look what happens here. And now you can see the cue ball checks on that side, and we're a bit or a lot closer actually to traveling on that straight line. So this is a very reliable shot. Yes, you have to use inside spin. Yes, you have to adjust your aiming a bit, but the 12th ball is really close in front of the side pocket, so this shouldn't be a problem. You can see the cue ball checks every time on that second rail. And you have a really nice, close to straight 8-ball. Let's play the 8-ball in real quick. And then I'm going to show you one shot that is applicable for hundreds of different shots. This is a shot that recently came up when I was playing 9-ball. And I had to get from the 5-ball to the 6-ball and from the 6 to the 7-ball. The problem is you just can't play this in with outside spin or inside spin. Let's show you what happens if I'm trying to use a whole lot of right spin. You can see the cue ball just goes out of the rail like this. The 8-ball is a bit of a blocker here, but even if the 8-ball wouldn't be here, you don't want to play this shot to get it from the 6-ball to the 7-ball. So what about playing this shot with inside spin instead and just go 2 rails? Let's try to play this with inside spin and see what happens. And you can see we still are snookered behind the 8-ball, but even if the 8-ball isn't here, the cue ball travels this line and we will always have a difficult shot on that 6-ball. If the cue ball would be on the same line, then this would of course be possible, because now I can also add low. As you can see, and now I can bring the cue ball actually straightish on the 6-ball. But this is not the case because the cue ball is here. So what do? Here comes a really important lesson on position play and cue ball control. Whenever you're facing a shot like this, just think about what the cue ball would do naturally if you don't add any spin and just hit the ball. Well, the cue ball will, you have to know that, will naturally go probably into that direction. So what happens if we just add a touch of left spin here? Because this is possible, obviously. Then the cue ball goes into that direction, and if you now extend the line, the cue ball goes to here, the cue ball goes to here, then the cue ball should go to here, and once the cue ball is here, you will always have a shot on the 6-ball. This sounds a bit crazy because you have to travel all around the table, but believe me, this is the most natural shot you can face. You don't have to manipulate the cue ball, you don't risk missing because you're adding spin on the cue ball. No, you just hit a bit more or a bit harder and just let the cue ball take its natural path. And I don't think you even need spin here. I think this is just a high ball. So long story short, let's try to play this shot. So I'm just using no spin. And you can see a very natural path, and we have a straightish shot on the 6-ball. And now we can easily get from the 6-ball to the 7-ball by just rolling that one in. Here I'm using some left spin to hold the ball. That was close. You can see I even held it too well. Now we have a bit of a problem, but I think the message should still be clear, even though we messed this completely up, but not because of the path we went from the 5 to the 6, but because of the shots we played afterwards. But as you can see, luckily I played a really awesome shot on the 8-ball. And now we have a very makeable 9. Again, we're in a real match, and the problem was I had too much angle on that 8-ball. So if you would try to just hold the cue ball here and roll the 8-ball in, this would happen most of the time. You can see the cue ball went too far, the 8-ball didn't even reach the pocket. So here this is impossible to make the 8-ball and hold the cue ball at the same time. So instead, what could you do? Well, it's the same concept here. Just extend the line of the natural path of the cue ball if you're hitting a bit harder, and then the cue ball will probably go this path. You know, it's impossible to hold it here. Here would be horrible. Here would be okay, but imagine you're a bit too short. This is horrible. You're a bit too far. This is horrible. So extend the line even more. The cue ball goes from here to here. And once the cue ball is, I would say, from here all the way to here, you have a really nice and makeable shot on a 9-ball. And yes, you don't want to be here on a 9-ball, that's true. But compare being here, somewhere on the long rail, to the 9-ball, which is always really difficult, compared to being somewhere here where we always can rest our bridge and on a table. This is a ball you just must be able to park it from any position, anywhere if the cue ball is around here. So that's why we're going for this shot. So it seems it's a bit more difficult to bring the cue ball all around, but letting your stroke out is actually a lot easier than just trying to hold the cue ball and roll it in, as you saw in the beginning. So let's give it a shot, see what happens. Low, bit of left spin. And you can see we have a nice position on the 9-ball. The cue ball could have even traveled a bit further, as I mentioned, all the way from here. But the check side slows the cue ball even down on the last 2 rails, and you will always get that kind of position. Let's play it one more time without a cut, just to show you that this is actually very reliable. So again, low and left. And you can see it's pretty much the same, even a bit too soft. But again, we have a really nice shot on a 9-ball. And these were the 3 shots you must know. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, see you at the next lesson. Take care.